The time is 1:15. Here is the news, edited by Catherine Pereira, read by Victor Raj. Here are the headlines of the local news. State Minister of Finance says that the statement made by a political party that the government has taken $4 billion loan during the first 3 months of this year is utterly false. Labour Minister meets ILO Director General in Geneva. 4,263 million rupees fertilizer subsidy paid for yellow season this year. Foreign Minister meets Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. Foreign news, UN Secretary Council backs US-Israel Gaza ceasefire plan. Local news in detail. State Minister Ranjit Singh says that the statement made by a political party that the government has taken $4 billion loan during the first 3 months of this year is utterly false. He stated that it is a statement to mislead the public. He also stated that the amount of foreign debt has been reduced by $0.3. But during the first 3 months, the amount of local debt has been increased by 262 billion rupees, or $0.9. Therefore, the entire debt has been increased by $0.5. It is not an unusual situation. At the second quarter, this situation will be changed with the adding of state income. Minister of Labour and Foreign Employment Manusha Nanaikar currently in Geneva to attend the annual International Labour Conference ILC of the International Labour Organization ILO held a significant meeting this morning with the Director General of the ILO, Mr. Gilbert F. Hongold, at the United Nations headquarters. During the meeting, Minister Nanaikar presented several key initiatives and ongoing projects by the Ministry of Labour and Foreign Employment, highlighting Sri Lanka's commitment to improve labour standards and employment conditions. The Department of Agrarian says that at present 4,263 million rupees has already been paid for the fertilizer subsidy in yellow season cultivation. The Minister of Agriculture and Plantation Industries, Mahinda Maravira, received cabinet approval to provide 15,000 rupees per hectare as a financial subsidy for the purchase of fertilizers for paddy cultivation in the 2024 yellow season. Accordingly, it is estimated that 7,500 million rupees will be spent on paddy cultivation in this year's yellow season. This year, 500,000 hectares of paddy is to be cultivated in the yellow season. The Commissioner General of Department of Agrarian Development, Mr. A.M.H.L. Aberatna, said that the Department of Agrarian Development took steps to credit the money given for the purchase of fertilizers to the farmers' accounts. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
A comprehensive banking services package with a branded checkbook as well as debit and credit card exclusively for you.
Continuing with more local news, Foreign Minister Ali Sabri, who is currently in Russia to participate in the BRICS 2024 Foreign Ministerial Session with the developing countries, had a bilateral meeting with Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov yesterday. During the meeting, the two foreign ministers agreed to further enhance bilateral ties, including in the spheres of tourism, higher education and economic cooperation. Minister Sabri during the meeting brought to the attention of his Russian counterpart the issue of Sri Lankan citizens who have joined the Russian armed forces and sought his assistance in resolving the issues encountered by them. Minister Dr. Bandulu Gunawardena says that President Ranil Wickremesinghe is the only leader who has far-sighted vision economically to take the country forward. The continuous support of the IMF has been received to the country due to the following of a proper financial management policy. He also stated that it is more important to work according to the agreement reached with the IMF until the year 2027. That ends local news.
Elevate your life with People's Bank Excelsior. A comprehensive banking services package with a branded checkbook as well as debit and credit card exclusively for you.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Vedamahatmya.
Sri Lanka is facing a health crisis of non-communicable diseases (NCDs), which account for 89% of deaths, according to Health Secretary Dr. Palitha Mahipala. The hardest hit are those aged 50 to 60, with 4 out of 10 falling victim to NCDs. Each year, 60,000 Sri Lankans suffered strokes, resulting in 4,000 deaths and leaving thousands with serious health issues. The Health Secretary underscored, smoking is another major killer, causing 20,000 deaths annually, he added. To combat this, the Japan International Cooperation Agency JICA is investing 70 billion rupees over the next 5 years. Their plan includes boosting primary health care and setting up 5 cardiac catheterization units across the island. That came to you on Main News Story.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Vedamahatmya.
Moving on to Watchlight, the Consumer Affairs Authority, CAA General Workers Association, urged the public to exercise caution when purchasing chicken from the market due to the increased risk of contamination caused by recent floods. Association General Secretary Ajit Jayasundara has informed that numerous poultry farms have been submerged, resulting in the death of many birds. The flood water may carry various viruses such as rat fever. The birds could have been infected by these viruses due to the floods. Additionally, a significant number of birds on poultry farms often die due to the spread of bacteria, which may have been carried out into the floodwaters, he explained. That came to you on Watchlight.
Coming up, World News.
Headlines first. UN Security Council backs a US-Israel-Gaza ceasefire plan. Singapore Airlines offers to pay turbulence victims. 38 die after boat capsized off Yemen, officials say. World News in detail. The United Nations Security Council has voted a support a U.S. proposal Israel-Gaza ceasefire plan. The proposal sets out conditions for a full and complete ceasefire, the release of hostages held by Hamas, the return of dead hostages remaining, and the exchange of Palestinian prisoners. 14 of the 15 Security Council members voted in favor of the U.S. drafted resolution. Russia abstained. The resolution states that Israel has accepted the ceasefire proposal and urged Hamas to agree to it too. It means the Security Council joins the number of governments as well as the G7 group of the world's richest nations in backing the 3-part plan that was unveiled by President Joe Biden on 31st of May. Singapore Airlines has offered to pay compensation to those who were injured on a London to Singapore flight that encountered severe turbulence. The airline said it was offering to pay $10,000 to those who sustained minor injuries in a Facebook post. For passengers with more serious injuries, the airline is providing an advance payment of $25,000 to address their immediate needs and further discussions to meet their specific circumstances. A 73-year-old British passenger died and dozens more were injured when flight SQ321 encountered turbulence over Myanmar and was diverted to Thailand in May. At least 38 people from the Horn of Africa have died after their boat capsized off the coast of Yemen, local officials say. Survivors have told rescuers that the vessel, which was carrying around 250 people, sank due to the strong winds. The search continues for nearly 100 people who were still missing. Local authorities in Rudam, east of Aden said that those on board were migrants, mostly from Ethiopia, who use Yemen as a transit point to reach Gulf states. Hadi Al-Khorma, the director of Radum district, told Reuters news agency the boat sank before it reached the source. To wrap up the world news, let's take a look at the headlines once again. UN Security Council backs the US-Israel Gaza ceasefire plan. Singapore Airlines offers to pay turbulence victims. 38 die after boat capsized off Yemen, officials say. That ends world news.
Development news.
Measures have been taken to develop and carpet the Miriskade Road in Veheragala in Vallavaya Divisional Secretariat Division. 41 million rupees will be spent for this project. That came to you on Development News.
Moving on with sports news.
The T20 match between the Sri Lankan and Nepal of World Championship Cricket Tournament will be played today, but the match will begin at 5 a.m. in local time tomorrow in New York. The first stage of Risberry's Srimad Joan Tarbet athletic meet will be conducted on the 13th and 14th of this month at the Duraiappah Playground in Jaffna. The schools of the Northern Province and the Anuradhapura district will participate at the meet. The matches for the Northwestern Province and the Gampar district will be conducted from the 12th to the 14th of next month in Winnapa Public Grounds. That ends sports news.
Go ekak tiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු ගීත හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
A vehicle parade of locally manufactured and assembled vehicles organized by the Industrial Development Board along with the Minister of Industries, Sri Lanka Automobile Component Manufacturers Association and Automobile Assemblers Association will be held on 18th of June. The IDB under the Ministry of Industries is a key stakeholder in the standard operating procedures which facilitates automobile assembly and component manufacturing in the country. The roadshow will see a fleet of over 200 locally assembled vehicles parade the streets.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak tiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු ගීත හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
Moving on to economic news. Unilever Sri Lanka recently inaugurated a new 2.33 megawatt solar power project at its Horana factory, partnering with Abans Electricals PLC for project execution. This significant step forward in Unilever's commitment to sustainability and renewable energy represents a total investment of 1.3 million euros. The project aligns with Unilever's Global Climate Transition Action Plan and contributes to the ambitious goals set by Sri Lanka Power and Energy Ministry for transitioning the country's electricity supply to renewable sources by 2030. That came to you on Economic News.
Weather report.
Several spells of showers will occur in western, Samragamu and northwestern provinces and in Kandy, Nuwara, Gol and Mathura districts. Fairly heavy showers about 75 mm are likely at some places in western and Samragamu provinces. Showers or thunder showers may occur at a few places in Nuwara province in the evening or night. Strong winds of about 40 to 50 km per hour can be expected at times over the western slopes of the Central Hills, northern, north central and northwestern provinces and in Trincomalee, Hambantota and Monragara districts. That ends with the report. To wrap up the afternoon news on Radio Sri Lanka, let's take a look at the headlines once again. State Minister of Finance says that the statement made by a political party that the government has taken $4 billion loan during the first 3 months of this year is utterly false. Labour Minister Ms. Ayello, Director General in Geneva. 4,263 million rupees fertilizer subsidy paid for yellow season this year. Foreign Minister meets Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. Foreign news, UN Security Council backs the US-Israel Gaza ceasefire plan. With that, we wrap up the afternoon news on Radio Sri Lanka. The time is exactly 30 minutes down 1 o'clock.